It's the activated new Brighton, the Futuritarian. This video is going to be on why everything is so serious. Because when you're dealing with the Sirius star system, you notice one thing about the Sirius star system. They're not pushing it no more. See, when you go on these documentaries and you go and you start watching these documentaries and you start watching stuff that deals with the solar systems and the cosmos, dealing with the universe, they always bring up the pyramids, but they never bring up the Sirius star system. Why is that? One of the reasons why they might not bring it up is because they fear it. That's why they don't push it. They fear it. They fear the Sirius star system. See, and you know, I'm sitting here yesterday and I'm like, why is everything pushed so serious? Give you an example. When they say the virus is a serious virus, it's a serious virus. So if you look at it from a theory point of view and you start looking and you're activated and you're like, okay, look, this virus, did it come from Sirius? Now, is this virus put here to alter DNA? Was this virus put here to alter DNA? Was this virus put here to have a mass extinction for certain ones to move forward? So when you're dealing with the so-called vaccines, break down the word vaccines. Vac. When you say vac, you're dealing with something that is a vacuum. What does vacuums do? It sucks. Going back to the parasite. What do parasites do? They suck and they feed. So you're seeing something, and then it's being sucked into what? Into a so-called deity or a human. And, you know, it's so funny because now that, you know, dealing with these, and even some of these so-called black people that's on these little science channels, this and that, they ain't saying nothing about the Sirius star system. You notice that? So the next time you go and you start doing research on stuff and you see, you know what I'm saying, some of these brothers on here on the internet, and then they're talking about the universe, talking about the pyramids, talking about this and that. They don't bring up the Sirius star system, is because they're mentally programmed not to bring it up. That's why. That's why we're here to put it back in the forefront. The Sirius star system. And dealing with these people that's talking about the pyramids and how they're aligned to the Sirius star system, but they don't bring up the Sirius star system. You know why they don't do that? It's because the copper-coated beings came from the Sirius star system. That's why they don't bring it up. They bring up all these other entities and all these other deities that are in the solar system, but they never bring up the Sirius star system because they fear it. That's why. And if you feel yourself, you know, getting sick, just like me, like it was not last night, but the night before that, I got sick. I'm like, why am I getting sick? Because allegedly may be that this virus is here to move the planet forward. And when you go online, it's not a secret. When you go online, you see all these people, pushing online about the secret bunkers, the underground bases, this and that. When you're dealing with 13 billion years going into the 14th billion year, when you're dealing with those many years, they already had underground bases. They were already there. Anybody that has logical sense in their mind, they will already know that they were there. So when you look at the Sirius A sun, right, and you got Sirius B. The Sirius B has a blue glow to it. The blue. What does the blue represent? The blue represents the order, the law and the order. That's what the blue represents. The law and the order. So when they say that this virus, it's a serious virus, you got to sit there and look at what they're really saying to you. Just like the media, just like social media, the news, they're always going to push it. They're going to push that agenda. Dealing with the Sirius star system. Like I broke down in my last video, when the term, when they say, "Are you serious?" That was a term that they used back in the day. That was a term that they used back in the day because you had the Africans and then you had the Nubians. And everybody think that they're the same people. Genetically, they're not. And I'm not talking about culture. I'm not talking about tribes. I'm talking about on a genetic basis. That's where you get the book of Genesis is the book of genetics. So that's where that came from. When they say, "Are you serious?" What they were saying was, "Are you from Sirius? Are you from the God seed?" That's what they were saying when they said that. When they used to be like, "Oh, are you serious?" They're basically saying, are you from the Sirius star system? Are you from the God seeds? And what's so funny is because I'm on the internet thoroughly, dealing with documentaries, and they don't never push the Sirius star system. Why is that? Do they fear it? Do they fear the Sirius star system? It's what the term you get, seriously? And when you break down the word serious and you break down the word virus, serious, people on the planet look at the coronavirus as being something bad. All it is altering and shifting the planet to move forward into the future. Because this planet has been warned more than once. Was it to so-called humanity? No, it was being warned to the people that's running the planet. The deities that's running the planet. That's who they're warning. To do the shift. So that's where that term comes from. Is the virus serious? And you're watching these news stations, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they said it, but I'm pretty sure they probably have said it when they say, yeah, this is a serious virus. This virus is very serious. Why would they say that? The alter, look at the top of the video, alter What? What's being altered? The DNA. Like I told y'all in my last videos, how I broke down that the DNA can be activated and help you with being with ascension. So the altar is not. See, when you're dealing with a lot of these people out here, they got their little altar, they got the candles lit, they got pictures, they got crystals, they got whatever floats your boat. If that's what you want to do, fine. But I'm telling you what the real altar is. The real altar is the altar of your DNA. Has nothing to do with candles, um, feathers, um, chicken feet. What else? Pictures and spirituality. With the spirituality, it always been the soul. It's always been about the soul. It's always been about them protons, those electrons, neutrons, atoms. That's where you get Adam and Eve from, dealing with the atoms. So I'm saying, man, people be dealing with this Bible, and they don't really understand how to break down the Bible because, for one, they're not even activated to do it. Adam and Eve. That's why they put the altar into a physical altar. Not dealing with the DNA genetics, the DNA genetics being altered. That's why the DNA genetics can be altered. How do they do that? How do they, when you're dealing with the Galactical Council, the gods, right? How do they move a planet forward? Might be through a virus. How do you counteract that? You want to counteract anything that deals with DNA being upgraded and being activated. So you're going to counter that with what? Something that can go inside you and try to alter your DNA before it's activated. And also dealing with their selves. Not even wanting to be a part of the evolution. Going back to the underground bunkers, stuff like that. That's why you're dealing with the Sirius A, Sirius B star system. The blue light. The blue light is one of the spectrums. Because when you're dealing with dark matter, the dark matter doesn't have to be in a spectrum because that represents the void. What is the void? The void, if you look at the universe and you go do research on the universe and you look at the universe and you see that what is the biggest thing in the universe? The biggest thing in the universe is a void. There's sections of the universe that's nothing but dark matter. That's the biggest section of the universe. There's nothing bigger in this universe than dark matter, which is called the void. So when they alter, when they switch alter, which was alter the DNA, the God DNA, the junk DNA, which is the God DNA, they was altering that with altars. That's why people have altars in their house right now. And where did that come from? Right? The altars came from religion. That's where the altars came from. It came from religion. You got your candles, you got your little thing, this and that, and you using it to alter what? Spirituality. But it's always been about the soul. It's always going to be about the soul. The solar energy. Because when you're dealing with a black hole, how do you get a black hole? The star implodes and it turns into a black hole. What was it first though? It was the star. That's why in the alphabet you have the A first. The A's first for a reason in the alphabet. Dealing with the Sirius A. That's why the A's first, because they know that's first. Dealing with this part of the the Milky Way galaxy. They always push the pyramids, but they never push the Sirius star system. You know why? Because the people that come from the Sirius star system look like the carbon coated beings on the planet. And what do? They push them to look like what? Not like you, not like me. One of the examples was The Predator. The movie The Predator. When the Predator was when the Predator got, took the spaceship or whatever to Earth, and they were letting you know that that was a being, right? Why did they put the dreadlocks on the Predator? They put the dreadlocks on the Predator to let you know that they were mocking being the carbon-coated beings from the Sirius star system. That's why they did that to the Predator. Because the altar was always altering your DNA, your junk DNA. It didn't mean nothing about the altar that you have in your homes, or, going to church. When you go into church and you see the altar, and then you want the priest wants you to come up there, get on your knees and pray to some type of deity that's running the planet at this point. The galaxy flares already bursted. I'm going to repeat myself. The galaxy flare already bursted. How long does it take to get to the Milky Way galaxy? I mean, not the Milky Way. How long does it take to get to the solar system, right? 25,000 light years. So it's coming. The altar of the DNA, the Sirius star system. So when they say this virus is serious, where's this virus coming from? Is it a virus to some on the planet, or is it an altar for the ones that are worthy to receive their junk DNA being altered for the better of the universe, to be a part of the council? Sirius A, Sirius B, and then the altar. Also dealing with, like I said before, also dealing with these underground bunkers and bases and stuff like that. Like, some of these people on a dealing with these solar flares, a lot of people don't want to catch the coronavirus. Dealing with the solar flares, because it can alter your DNA. It can alter your DNA for the better, or it can alter your DNA for the worse. That's why the other day I was sitting here and I'm like, damn, why am I sick? I'm like, I'm sick. Don't have a fever, right? Don't have a sore throat, but my nose, right? I got the sniffles. And I'm like, damn, I've been eating my avocados. I've been eating not super healthy, but I've been eating my avocados. But why is that happening? There's a reason for everything in this three-dimensional realm to move this planet forward. That's why when you're dealing with the alteration is your DNA being altered. And they switched it to an altar where people have it in their house, which, if that's fine. If you want to have an altar in your house, whatever floats your boat. But I'm showing you and telling you what the altar is. The altar is the DNA, the junk DNA being activated, the junk DNA that can turn you into a god. The ascension process, not coming back to this three-dimensional realm and not coming back to this prison. Sirius A, Sirius B. And now, when you're dealing with these teachers that's out here, and a lot of them that are subscribed to me, they will see, when they start doing research. I mean, if this the thing, if you Google Sirius A, Sirius B, yeah, they're going to tell you about the pyramids, this and that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what's being pushed. If you look at stuff that's been pushed a week ago, a month ago, 6 months ago, they're not really talking about it no more. Why? Because of the virus. Sirius virus, a serious virus. This virus is very serious. When you go on the news and you start looking at the news, which the news, N-U-S, news, dealing with this star system, because this star system, when it formed, it was so much solar energy in this star system, right? But the balance of the planet, which our ascendants lived on or live on, it was so much energy there that they evolved quicker than what Earth did. Dealing with the timing factor and also dealing with the solar energy in the plasma. That's why anytime that somebody pushes something on a massive scale, because the altar was being pushed on a massive scale, dealing with religion and dealing with the Bible. Come to the altar, come to this, come to that, get on your knees and bow. You don't get on your knees and bow. That's where the authorization comes from. Being bound in this three-dimensional realm and being bound to the solar system. Like I said before, that's why you was born with limitations. You wasn't born as a god. The God only comes through activation, only comes through the DNA strand. That's why the scientists cannot still figure out the junk DNA, because they weren't supposed to. That's why they can't figure it out. They're going to call it junk because they can't figure it out. They're supposed to be so smart, right, and so intelligent, but you can't figure out the junk DNA strand for a reason, because it was genetically modified. It was genetically put down here, so you can't figure it out. That's why. So what they do, they labeled it as junk, which is not junk. It's not junk. It's evolution. Dealing with the planet. Why this planet's not solar. This planet's not green. This planet's not on one accord. Why is that? You're dealing with a solar planet. You're going to have solar beings to run it. The alteration of the DNA. The plasma, and so you dealing with this with Sirius A and Sirius B. You notice that they're not the color of the sun of this solar system. This sun has a orange, reddish, fire to it. A orange, reddish fire to it. And you got some of these teachers, like I said before, you got some of these teachers, they out here, they pushing the junk DNA being activated. Like I did that almost a year ago on my YouTube channel. And now they're starting to push that, right? And you got some of these carbon coated beings, pushing it. And they're not, like I said, they're not bringing up the star system where the pyramids actually came from. dealing with the alignment of the pyramids and how they align, the ones in the Giza, the ones that are in Egypt. And you notice that if you go back, look at, a week, maybe 2-3 weeks back, a month back, 6 months back, they're talking about the pyramids, but they're not talking about the Sirius star system. Why? It's because they fear it. That's the only reason why. Or if they don't fear it, they're just they're diverting their energy to somewhere else. Because when you deal with the coronavirus, that coronavirus is supposed to be a serious virus, dealing with the word serious. It's the activated one, New Bright 10, the Futuritarian. Peace, Kwaza. If you like the way the world is, don't like, don't share, don't subscribe. But if you want it to alter, all you have to do is subscribe, like the channel, and share the channel. Just share. The quicker you share, the quicker the world will be altered. Peace.